This is the story of my cousin Ethan, who was born in Denmark. Ethan had always heard from his father that they owned some land in Pakistan, specifically near Kharyan. One day he told me that their land was located near a place called Bapi, known for its large, beautiful mounds of dirt. Ethan had always wanted to see this land, so he planned a trip with his cousin to check it out. It was either November or December, and the cold was setting in, with the evenings getting darker much earlier. They took a bus and got off near the area. When they arrived, they saw the massive mounds of dirt, which looked fascinating, but it was easy to get lost in them. As they ventured in, they soon lost their way, and darkness quickly surrounded them. The next morning, Ethan noticed a faint light in the distance. He thought it might be the light from a nearby village. As they approached, they saw an old, small house with a stove burning inside. An old woman was making bread, and there were a few children and an elderly man sitting nearby. They were invited inside by the old man, who offered them bread and stew. The elderly man warned them that this area was dangerous at night, and it was a known hideout for criminals. He advised them to stay there for the night. Ethan and his cousin, feeling tired, decided to heed the old man's advice and stay. The next morning, what they saw was the most terrifying experience of their lives. Let me now tell you a personal experience with my cousin. One night, we stopped at a strange, remote location in the middle of nowhere. It was an old, abandoned area, surrounded by a forest. There was no electricity, and we had a small candle that barely provided any light. The elderly man had given us a piece of advice: make sure you lock the door from the inside tonight. We were exhausted, so we went to sleep quickly. However, in the dead of night, I felt something tugging at my toes. At first, I thought it was my cousin joking around. Half asleep, I said, "Come on, man, stop messing around," but there was no response. I got up to check, and the room was dark. Our candle had gone out. I checked on my cousin, and he was sound asleep. I was terrified, so I woke him up and said, "We need to leave right now." He resisted at first, but when I explained what had happened, he became frightened too. We opened the door and stepped outside. What we saw was completely different. The place where we had seen the woman making bread was now overgrown with tall, wild grass. The area looked abandoned and eerie. Without looking back, we started walking in one direction, but then we heard a laugh behind us. Someone called out, "You two are lucky to be alive." No one survives here. We didn't turn around, we just kept walking faster. After a while, we heard the sounds of cars and we reached the main road. A truck driver stopped and asked what we were doing out there. When we told him our story, he said, "That place is haunted. Nobody goes there." He gave us a ride back to our destination, and we thanked God for making it out alive. This story leaves everyone with chills. If you enjoyed it, make sure to share it.